Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we've been decoding the Bible changes, at least a good chunk of the agreed upon Bible changes anyway. And we have taken our extractions, which I will provide a link for, that we correctly extracted the letters. If I did it for every video, it takes about 5 to 6 minutes to explain the extraction on this one. Usually on my other, on our songs and stuff, I explained it every single video. All right. But this was getting into taking a very long time. So, and there's a reason for it. And I figured this out today. And anyway, our extractions in order are INWFAYONELRSPASEDBHWHTESPASDBRMATCCOUCHWINSBOTTL. Whew. So, whoops. Can we get them all? Can we get them all? We can't. We can. We can see that. And you can pause that. Take a look if you want. And I also want to note that we're dealing, and I counted them, I just double counted them, unless I miscounted them. We have 60 letters in this decode. All right, now there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, and twice that is 52 letters. 26 times 2 is 52. So we're dealing with 8 more than twice the alphabet, but we don't have every letter of the alphabet, right? So it's interesting. And so now we got this to go forward. We got these letters to go forwards and backwards in finance. We got these letters to go forwards and backwards in genetics, and found some really interesting stuff there. We got these letters to go forwards and backwards in medical, and found some interesting stuff and connections there. And we got these letters to go forwards in chemicals. All right. Now, mind you, a computer would scramble these, a quantum computer would scramble these and search them in every possible way, but we're not doing that. We're just coming forwards and backwards. Now, we're coming backwards, guys, at this point. And some of these videos are just going to take longer, and I need to calm down and realize that. And understand that those who want to follow along are going to watch, and those who don't want to watch a longer video aren't going to watch, and that's fine. But this is coming back, starting at L. All right. So LT ends up being LT Industries Chemical Analyzer. LT is also Environmental, Chemical, and Materials Management. All right. LT Industries NIR Chemical Analyzer. Offers dramatic increase in speed, simplicity, and operator independence compared to more complicated and more consuming laboratory assays. And near infrared, so is it chemical analyzers? And the reason I didn't click into that is because I wanted to also slip down here, and I'll provide these links, guys, in the description, along with our extraction process on this. You also have chemical and materials management, LT Environmental. All right. Oil field service companies are faced with ever-growing regulatory compliance requirements. So apparently they deal with that. They also have a chemicals and materials management services, waste minimization planning. All right. So you got a couple things going on with LT. And the reason I was running some of these 2 at a time with these chemicals is because you never know when you're going to hit a periodic table of elements. I probably should have done TT and seen if that was anything. Yeah, well, let's do it. Let's just see if it is. Okay, nope, it's not. No, but you do have something. You have pt.232, which is a chemical. But nothing. I mean, I guess I could leave that up. We could, I could include it in the links. That's just one of those things, guys. I could run these in a lot of ways, like a lot, and that without ever scrambling the letters. So, anyway, if you take TOB, and I almost threw this out, guys, because I got hazardous compounds in tobacco, and they have TOB. And I thought, well, that's kind of silly. It's just the first 3 letters of tobacco, but it's here, it's there. Tobromycin, tobromycin, also came up, but the chemical compounds of tobacco smoke. So actually, the reason I decided that may be actually more relevant than I thought was because of all the hazardous chemical stuff we had. I'm pretty sure we had it here before. Hazardous chemical management. You got the National Wildlife Federation that deals with hazardous chemicals. And so you just had a few things going on, and I'm pretty sure one of these dang things had chemical waste management, and pretty sure we had a hazardous chemical data sheet in there. So anyway, yeah, more hazardous chemicals basically is what you got with TOB. Yeah. Moving on, you have SN, which ends up being 10 on the periodic table of elements. All right, so there's one of those periodic table of element hits. And I don't think I need to read about 10. I'll provide the link. If you move on from that, you have IK, which ends up being IK Chemicals Ltd. And it's a chemical company. All right, I don't think I need to read a whole lot about another chemical company. They're they're a private chemical company apparently, I think. It's one of the private ones. So, company information, IK Chemical Ltd. Yeah, you know what? Established in 2013. Export. They got imports and exports. Not sure what gut, natural and artificial sausage casings. Food hydration. Oh, here you go. They deal in food chemicals. All right. Looks to me like. So there you go. IK Chemicals. All right. So moving on from that, you have NIW, which ends up being, once again, that national interest waiver. NIW approvals, engineering and materials sciences. And national interest waiver success cases. PhD in bioscience and engineering, master's degree in chemical engineering. This dude apparently got a waiver, American interest waiver, or a national interest waiver, excuse me. So, yeah, for some reason, national interest waiver came up again. So apparently that's important again. Oh, there it is again. There it is again. Nickel tungsten as well, guys. National interest waiver, approvals, engineering and material sciences again. So yeah, national interest waiver, nickel tungsten. I might just provide the national interest waiver link this time and provide the nickel tungsten link. But anyway, moving on from that, you have HC, which ends up being H&C Scientific Resources International. You also have HC toxin. Oh, toxin. Another toxin hit. Another hazardous chemical hit. HC chemistry. So a few things going on there. H&C Scientific Resources International. H&C is a technology-driven provider of research/development and manufacturing/sourcing services to the chemical and pharmaceutical industries. All right, so we've had those before. We've had a lot of that going on. So moving on from that, your next is CUOC, because we're coming back now. So CUOC ends up being balanced chemical equation. C little u capital O plus C equals C little u capital O C. And that is reaction type synthesis, and it is a balanced equation. So it's in there, right in order. I found that to be interesting. If you move on from that, you have T TA, which ends up being tantalum on the periodic table of elements. I think we've had that before. It's a shiny silvery metal, very resistant to corrosion. All right. So we've had that before, guys. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. And if you move on from that, you end up with MRB. And you get MRB, MRB Laboratory Resources Bioengineering Graduate Program. Oh, all right. And they deal with chemical safety, apparently. You also get MBR. Now, granted, that moves your B, but a computer would do that, and I'm just going to mention it. If we were flopping letters, for some reason when I typed MRB, MBR Chemical Archives came up. Well, the computer flipped that around for me. The Google did it. Period. And so it's there. I mean, it's going to be there. It's going to be in this search. If I were to get all the possible information, this would definitely be there. So I think it's worthy of mention. MBR Chemical Archives, American Water Chemicals Incorporated. All right, so I'll probably provide that link as well. You also get advances in chemical engineering, and it's part of an equation, MRB minus 1. So then you get MBR again, if you flip that. And this is all in the same search, guys, by the way. I didn't run 2 searches. I just ran 1. Membrane bioreactor. That's on Wikipedia, though. Oh, here it is, not on Wikipedia. It's on in a book. 22nd Symposium on Biotechnology for Fuels and Chemicals. A promising alternative is the membrane recycled bioreactor. MRB. Oh, there's MRB. Wow, there's why I don't use Wikipedia. MRB, which couples a continuous stirred tank bioreactor to membrane modules to operate as and I didn't go any far. I didn't click into that because I wanted to read all this, guys. You also get a safety data sheet. MRB series. So you also get something out of the British Medical Journal, first MRB. So I mean, you could hit that. It says chemistry and other branches of physics. So you got a few things going on with this search. I might just provide the search, but you got a few interesting things going on with that. Oh, you also get I almost forgot and went over it. Buy it. It also comes up on Lyme disease, guys. It's in a book, but you got MRB record group, and then it says down here, it says main chemical warfare. IG, it's in a book. Far benign dystrophy, whatever. AG office building, Frankfurt, Maine. Chemical warfare by Irvin A. So that's a book. Um, so that's in there too in the search. Not sure if I like chemical warfare, but it's in there. But if you move on from that, you wind up with DS, which ends up being DS chemicals, and Darmstadtium, and I will provide both of those links. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You got a chemical company, and you have a element. I don't think it's on the periodic table, is it? I don't know. If it is, guys, I'll provide the link. It must be there. It must be on the periodic table of elements. So I'll check into that. But moving on, maybe I did and it wasn't. Maybe that's the one I did check and it wasn't. But if you move on from that, guys, but it's there, DS Chemicals, Darstidium. Then if you move to TSN, you get liquid and powdered chemical products. TSN. Simply TSN. Successful and adapted services offered. A wide range of liquid and powdered chemical products accepted than almost all chemical products that can be carried in road tanks or tank containers. And if you come down here, technology, environmentally friendly, it says. Technology, reliability, safety, and reducing environmental impacts are all integral parts of the quality system imposed by TSN as an APLICA/EFTCO member. All right, environmental stuff. And you've also got the National Wildlife Fund, remember? Or Federation. They've came up and up and up, and here's some more environmental stuff. And chemical. All right. So I found that to be interesting, but moving on from that, you end up with IA. AI. I'm going to remember that because it's in here. AI right there. So we're going to run IA backwards. You get IA Chemical Company Ltd. And even more interestingly enough, you get IA. You get is 1H2018IA Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering at ExxonMobil. And ExxonMobil has a Mandela effect on it, right? 2 X's now instead of 1. And I specifically remember the 1, by the way. That 2 X's is weird to me. So here is ExxonMobil. In fact, since they have a Mandela effect on them, and now we find out that they have a chemical and biomolecular engineering lab, we're going to go ahead and give these guys a circle. We're going to look at these guys for potential quantum network use at this point. So, yeah, that seemed to me like a good group to look at. So, I think that's all that. And moving on from that, you end up with Ga, which ends up being gallium on the periodic table of elements. It was discovered in 1890 or 1875, excuse me. Paul M. Emile and Lecoq de Boisbadron. um, it's a soft, silvery, white metal similar to aluminium. That's right, aluminium. Aluminium. Um, so it's got a few uses. Has a high boiling point, which makes it ideal for recording temperatures that would vaporize a thermometer. All right. There's also gallium nitride, a semiconductor. So you got a few things. It's used in Blu-ray technology, mobile phones, blue and green LEDs, and pressure sensors for touch switches. All right. So that's going to be gallium, guys. I'm not going to spend much more time on it, but I'll provide the link and you can check it out. So if you move on from that, you end up with SSAP. And SSAP winds up being SSAP, Sequential Structure Alignment Program for Protein Structure Comparison. All right. And that seemed pretty important. It's about all you got on it, but it's there. And it's definitely there. It says methods enzymal. All right. So that's what you get for that. And then if you move on from that, you end up with Se, which ends up being selenium on the periodic table of elements. Discovered in 1817. John's Jacques Berzelius. A semi-metal that can exist in two forms, a silvery metal or as a red powder. We may have had this before. The biggest use of selenium, is as an additive to glass. It's toxic to the scalp fungus that causes dandruff, so it's used in some anti-dandruff shampoos. Selenium is also used as an additive to make stainless steel. I think we have had this before, guys. So anyway, selenium, and we're going to move on. And you end up with SETH, which ended up being SETH Chemical Works. And they are a chemical company. And they are in the category of chemical dealers, also known for fertilizer dealers, formulation, dye dealers. All right. We've had similar things before. And I'll provide one of the links on them. And if you move on from that, you got TH, which I went ahead and used TH. And TH ended up being thorium. I mean, that is backing up and using the TH out of Seth, guys, SETH, but you get thorium on the periodic table of elements. Didn't I just read this? Yes. No. John's Jacques Berzelius, again, I couldn't have because the thing's closed. Nope, I did not read this, guys. Okay, the same guy must have discovered it. That's interesting right there. A weakly radioactive silvery metal. Weakly radioactive. It's used in high-quality camera lenses. It's important alloying agent in magnesium, as it imparts greater strength and creep resistance at higher temperatures. Thorium oxide is used as an industrial catalyst. All right, so you got a few things going on with thorium as well. If you move on from that, you end up with you end up with WHB, which ends up being WHB Chemical Company Ltd, and they are a global trade leader. You also end up with WHB Records, Darrow Chemical Company. So you got a couple things going on with that. I'll provide links, guys. Then you move on from that, and you have BDS. Yes, making sure I'm where I'm supposed to be. BDS, guys, which ends up being barium diphenyllamine sulfonate. That's a chemical compound, I believe. Yes, it's a chemical compound, and I'll provide the link. You also get BDS Industrial Solutions, and you also get biology, chemistry, space science hits, chemistry of Titan's atmosphere, if one believes that that they have that. I don't know. They fake a lot of stuff, so I don't really put a lot of stock into the space agencies with all the fakery I see. But yeah, you got that chemical. It seemed to me, wherever. I'm looking for that ESA. Maybe it was on page 2, guys. I don't want to provide stuff that isn't there. It's like it's gone. Oh, wow. It's not there either. But is that where we were? Was ESA? Or did I get... I somehow went to another one, guys. I don't know. WHB. Now I'm getting lost. 60 letters, guys. Sorry about this. WHB was WHB Chemical Company. Oh, that's why. I was trying to read the the chemical company. No. BDS Industrial Solutions. That's what I was trying to read, you guys. Where is BDS? And don't tell me I closed it. WHB. BDS. I must have closed BDS, guys. It's there, though. Son of a gun. I don't know. They get so small, and it's real easy to hit the X. Anyway, ESA. It's there. Anyway, ESA, guys. I'll provide the links. ESA is Anchlor ESA organosulfuric acid. Or ethan no, it's anchoraloethanosulfonic acid. There. ESA. All right. That's what that is. Did I have anything else for ESA? No. Good. Okay, moving on. PS. Sorry about that, guys. This stuff gets confusing. And then when windows close, it gets even more confusing. So, PS ends up being polystyrene. It's a chemical compound. PS is also P&S Chemicals, and they are a chemical company. I'll provide the links. Moving on from that, you have RL, and that ends up being RL Chemical Industries Ltd. And they are a chemical company. And I'll provide a link on them. Moving on, you have RLE, and that ends up being RLE Technologies. Chemical Sensing Cables is the thing I'm looking at. But RLE Technologies. Then if you move on from that, you have NO, which ends up being nobelium on the periodic table of elements. Discovered in 1963 by a bunch of people near Moscow, Russia. I'll let you read about it, guys. It's radioactive metal. Only a few atoms have ever been made. Its half-life is only 58 minutes, which is probably how long this video is going to wind up taking. So, if you move on from that, guys, not really. We're almost done. You get N. If you take N by itself from nobelium, if you get N by itself, you get nitrogen, and I knew that on the periodic table of elements. I don't think I have to say much about nitrogen. If you move on from that, you end up with Ya, which ends up being Zhong Ya Chemical, USA, Ltd. Manufactures food ingredients. Its products include ammonium citrate, absorbic acid, aspartame, benzoic acid, beta-carotene, calcium citrate. So this goes on, guys, and on and on. But they deal with food chemicals. Zhong Ya, Yay, Chemical, USA, Ltd. And your last thing then ends up being WN, which ends up being WN Lacey Symposium on Chemical Engineering. How did I miss writing this stuff, some of this stuff down, guys? If you take F by itself, we missed F, you get fluorine. On the periodic table of elements. It is a very pale, yellow-green, dangerously reactive gas. It is most reactive of all the elements and quickly attacks all metals. All right. There's no commercial production of fluorine until the Second World War. There was none. When the development of the atom bomb and other nuclear energy projects, it made it necessary to produce large quantities. Before this, fluorine salts known as fluorides, were for a long time used in welding and for frosting glass. The element used made... and so I'll let you guys read all about this, but that was there and I forgot to write it down for some reason. W.N. Lacey then Symposium on Chemical Engineering. and that was WN. You also could take NI, guys, at the end here, and you got nickel. All right. All right, you got nickel. If you take Ni, and then we're back to our TT, which I found was in fact a chemical. TT232, it's on PubChem. So it's a thing. All right. So that gets you through backwards and chemicals, and yeah. I'll see if I can get started on our technology search, because that's forwards and now backwards through chemicals. And our next search will be technology. All right. And the thing to take away from this is, I guess, all that is there, albeit a lot. And we circled ExxonMobil, IA Chemical, and Biomolecular Engineering. They might have a quantum. I mean, we tend to stick to computer stuff, but ExxonMobil, they changed, and chemical and biomolecular engineering. So we'll see how the rest of the search goes. We'll get out of here, get out of this video. Thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions, guys. And thanks a lot for watching, those that do. I know some of these are going to run longer, and I just got to relax and let them run longer, because we're dealing with 60 letters again, which is more than double the alphabet. But we don't have all the letters of the alphabet. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see about technology search maybe today or tomorrow. We will still try to get our EHS video out, hopefully tomorrow. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.